Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Missy from shadowsofthemoons.com. How are you this evening? Hopefully your day went well. It's Friday. Yay! Well, it's almost Saturday where you are probably. But anyway, I was going to do the May horoscopes over because the software I was using before was a little bit choppy, and I wanted to redo them so you guys got a clear indication of what May is all about. As you can see on the screen right here, these are for the air signs Libra, really Libra, Gemini, and Aquariuses. So let's get started, shall we? All right, I am using the Dragon spread this month, and I have pulled the cards to kind of get, time wise. Um, but I am using the Dragon spread, and please remember that this is a general reading. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's probably not for you. But if it does, or if it partially resonates with you, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So, let us get going, shall we? Oh, by the way, I found this new software and I absolutely love it. So, hopefully, we'll continue to be using it. I haven't tested the live stream yet, but we're going to do that after we do these readings. So, anyway, in the first part of the spread, your overall feeling of the month, we pulled the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands is basically reversed, meaning you're having ideas, you're feeling those ideas, but you're not quite sure, you're unsure of how people are going to react to them or how it's going to basically work in your life. Um, and the reason you're feeling like that came up the Seven of Swords, which kind of tells me that you're on that verge of wanting to let these ideas go and not do anything about them. Just you had them, they were great and everything, but you're just like, screw it, you know. Don't give up on that because your foundation of why you're feeling this way came up the Ace of Swords. Um, and when I pulled this card, I got the feeling of it's kind of like you're scared to make a fresh start, if that makes sense. Um, when I was when I pulled the card, I got this sense of like a couple months. I'll give you a little explanation. A couple months ago, I had a store and it was doing really well. It started picking up business. I started making money and stuff like that. But it wasn't fulfilling to me. And I've been working on this for years, this store for years. And I was kind of scared to tell my husband when I backed off from it, that I didn't want to do it anymore. And then I wanted to go into my spiritual coaching and life coaching and that. I was kind of scared to tell him that because I had been working, we'd sunk so much money into the store. Um, that I was scared to tell him that I'm leaving the store behind and going on this new adventure of my life, new journey in my life. And I mean, he was all for it. He had no problem with it, obviously, but that's the kind of feeling I got is it's a fresh start and from what you've been doing, so you're scared to take that step. The next thing I got was the outside influences, and I got the Five of Swords. So I feel like somebody around you is giving you tension or conflict. Um, they're putting stress on you, and they may not even realize they're doing it. but whatever they're doing is stressing you out, and so it's taken away from your thinking about this idea and actually getting it started. Um, yeah, I feel like they don't even realize they're doing it. You're just worried about it up in your head, like us air signs usually are. Um, and it's kind of like that paranoia type feeling, you know. But because they're upset about something, it's stressing you out. The next card I got, which is in the unseen events, was the strength card. So what that's telling me is basically, can you see that? What this is telling me is that your inner strength, your passion, your determination is going to boil over. And finally, you're going to be like, you know what? I have to do this. I have to. It's just going to come down to it, to where that strength and that passion, because you don't know this is happening inside you. So subconsciously, it's boiling and it's boiling. All that passion, all that inner strength is coming up. And finally, it's going to spill over. And that, we come to the hopes. And for your hopes, we got the Five of Cups. Now, that's telling me that you're hoping this idea brings you money, financial stability. You know, you're scared to take this leap, and what if it don't happen? You know, what if it don't work? You're, you know, I'm leaving this stability to jump into something new, not knowing if it's going to work. And that's exactly what it's telling me is you're just worried, you know, which anybody with new adventures or going on a new journey, you know, your worst fear is your future not being stable. We got the King of Pentacles. And so I don't know if this is, I'm getting it's like a business adventure or business journey. But yeah, your worst fear is the stability not being there. The worst possible, or the best possible solution is the King of Wands. Okay. And this whole thing is all talking about turning this idea into a business. Turning it into a business and being okay with it. But the worst case scenario, or the worst possible solution, is there's, which is the four of swords. That's telling me that if this doesn't pan out, you're going to be spending a lot of time recovering from this, recouping. It's not something that you can just blow off and say, it didn't work. Whatever it is, you're investing a lot of time or a lot of money or both. So, would that be in the worst case scenario or the worst possible solution, recovering from this, taking a big hit and, you know, dealing with that and having to take some time off because mentally, physically, monetary wise, everything will take a big hit. But that's only worst case. So, um, next, the past influences. What's influencing is the Knight of Wands. Now, this is telling me like you've done this before or had ideas but you've gotten bored with it. Like, kind of like with my store. It's not that I got bored with it, but that was kind of the feeling. Kind of like when I pulled this card, it was like or when it jumped out, I should say. It reminded me of like I love electronics. Okay. I'm good at electronics. I'm good at anything electric. I don't know where it comes from. I just am. I know what to do and it happens. Um so everybody was like, "Oh, you should become an electrician. You should get into, tech solution." But because I love to do it so much, I didn't want to put myself in a position to where I would be look at it as work, if that makes sense. Um that's the sense I got when I pulled this card. Like, I love getting that solution and fixing the problem and tinkering around with it so much, and I have an absolute fun time doing it, but I didn't want it to become tedious, if that makes sense. And that's what I feel like. You've gone into ventures before, but you've gotten bored with it. There was a lack of interest after a while, and you were just like, this just isn't for me. And that's what you're scared of. That's what's coming up for you now is that feeling of, oh, I've done this before, and I don't know. I don't want to get bored with it and have to start all over again, right? Um, how you're feeling right now came up the Knight of Cups, which is following your heart. You want to follow your heart. You like this idea or business venture or whatever, and you want to follow your heart. So what that's telling me from way back of from way back to what card was it? The Strength card. That passion's already starting to boil up. You've thought about it for a while now. So that passion is there, it's starting to boil out. And that strength and the inner strength of I can do this, it's starting to get there. And it's gonna come full force. And then the future outcomes, good and bad, you're either going to have celebration or you're going to have anxiety. It's going to ponder either way. Okay? This is a celebration card. This is anxiety and feeling like crap, you know? But let's pull one last card. My overall feeling of the reading is to go for it. You got the Lovers. And the Lovers signify a union. Maybe somebody's going to come into your life that is going to help you with this. Yeah, passion keeps coming up. The passionate choice. So I'm definitely going to say go for it. I mean, have caution, and everything has its timing. But I believe it's going to work out. Wow. That flew out right while I was beginning to shuffle. So I got your Earth Magic Oracle card, and it came up Dragonfly. Emergence. So this idea is going to come out. It's going to burst out. You're going to figure out a way, and I believe you're going to be just fine. I believe you're going to be just fine with it. Do you have any wisdom oracle for our Aries sign? Air signs? Not Aries. Air signs? Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Just one, guys. Just one. For the month of May. What do they need to know? What are you telling them? Alrighty then. As soon as I seen this, I knew exactly what it meant. Don't feel alone. You got orphaned. Don't feel alone. There's obviously... Where'd it go? With that Lover's card, there's somebody there with a friendship and everything. It's definitely, yeah, a friendship coming in and the ideas bursting through. That's what I see. These ideas, you might as well just go for it because it's going to come to bubble over and you're going to be like, well, hell with this, I'm going to go for it. You'll get there soon enough. You'll get there feeling that way soon enough. That's all I got for you this month. A hard reading. Definitely a hard but meaningful reading for us air signs. Yeah, seems like we're just going to be in our head worrying as usual, because we usually do worry about everything and anything, right? But we need to put those worries aside and just go for it. And it sounds like from this reading that, yeah, no matter all about our air feelings of being in our head, it's going to happen anyway. It seems like we're getting a little push, a little help from someone. Ourselves. Our subconscious of... Yeah, our subconscious is basically saying, you know what? This is your time. These ideas are great. Go for it. I don't care if it's a new adventure. If you're getting out of this thing, not feeling this thing anymore, and going for this thing, to do it. Feels like we're gonna be the good's over battling, gonna win over battling the bad in our minds. All right, air signs, I love you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you hanging on and holding out to the end of this. And I'll talk to you next month. Have a good night, guys. Bye.